While everyone's coming in, I'm Ryan Savola with WASBO, here to welcome you to the Making the Most of Your Conference Experience, a webinar for exhibitors of WASBO's 2026 Spring Conference. And I will let all of our fellow speakers introduce themselves, starting with Sarah and working our way down.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Sarah Vieira. I'm currently the Director of Business Services at CISA One, and exciting to share that I will be transitioning to the Pewaukee School District as of July 1.
Hi, everybody. Bridget Joyce with Myron Construction, Education Engagement Specialist. So I've been with Myron for a little over 4 years now, so excited to join you all on this webinar.
And good morning, everyone. Ben Irwin, Director of Business Services for Whitefish Bay School District, the other co-chair for the Spring Committee, and happy to be joining today.
Oh, I forgot to say I'm a co-chair for the Spring Committee. Thanks, Ben.
That's you, yeah.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Jeannie Diamond with WASBO, and thanks for joining us. And we're glad you took time to be with us. We know you're very busy. All right, logistics for our meeting today. You are muted, but you can answer your questions in the chat. Any questions that we can't address during the webinar can be emailed to exhibit@wasbo.com. We are recording the webinar, and we will email the webinar link to all exhibitors, and it will be available at wasbo.com/spring. Bridget, you get to start with our first question. Why do you exhibit with WASBO at this conference?
I think on behalf of Myron and probably speaking for a lot of the service affiliates, we just appreciate the mission of WASBO and I guess the fact that it's such a wonderful organization and that it's helping to grow and mentor the talent for future current business managers. And also, this is an amazing dedicated time for our service partners to get everybody out of the office and into some awesome connection time with both clients and partners.
Awesome. And I should mention that Sarah, Bridget, and Ben will be providing some expert insights on both the district professional and service affiliate sides throughout our presentation. So our spring conference attendees and also our WASBO members span all aspects of school operations, from those overseeing district finance facilities and finances. So make sure you're ready to connect with every type of WASBO member at this conference. Our next question is for Sarah. Why do you continue to attend this conference?
Well, outside of Spring Conference being the best conference, don't tell fall or accounting. But I'm really proud of the work that the board in particular has done to kind of revamp all of our conferences, and really working to better align the learning sessions that take place during the conference to our standards, and creating different tracks and really making the learning more intentional. Business managers, it's really hard to get out of the office a lot of the times, especially around spring and as we move into finalizing our budget for year end. So when business managers do get out and have the ability to attend conferences like spring, we're really looking for quality learning, and that we're going to walk away from the conference with something that we can bring back to our districts that's going to be meaningful. And it is really nice to be able to network with you as vendors that do show up, especially if you are a current vendor in a district, or maybe it's a potential relationship that a district and a vendor could have. It is nice to be able to have that networking ability as well, because you don't always get that in the day-to-day of a business office.
Awesome. I love it.
Thank you, Sarah. So yeah, building relationships is what we're trying to coordinate at the conference at many of our exhibits. And one special way is to do that in the exhibit hall. I'm sure that you don't just work in education, but you probably exhibit and um, participate at other exhibiting conferences. So first of all, know your audience. So in education, school districts they purchase a bit differently, and we're going to talk a little bit about that later about what we're doing at the conference to help with that. Um, because districts are on purchasing and budgeting cycles, and sometimes they have to do a lot of investigating, making sure they're getting doing their due diligence to make sure they're getting not only just the best price but the best service. And their purchasing might require an RFP. So we encourage you to build relationships while you're at the conference, in the exhibit hall, and beyond the exhibit hall. Ben, why do you get into the exhibit hall? What drives you to the exhibit hall?
Well, the easy response is that's where lunch is, right? So, that's always pulling us in, but
That's
yeah,
right.
It's good.
Lunch and breaks.
right. But beyond that, like kind of what Bridget mentioned is just having those relationships and those connections is a great opportunity for districts to have that in-person discussion or whatever it may look like on our end with vendors we work directly with. Or it's a great opportunity to learn more about specific programs that may be being offered by an exhibitor. So they may hear like, this vendor was great working with this program with us. They have these great ideas. All right, I know they're at the conference. I can touch base with them, just learn more. And obviously you can the email back and forth, the phone conversations, but having that in-person connection, having that dialogue is just so valuable. And that's what I look forward when I go into the exhibit hall.
Awesome. Great.
Thank you.
So we have the goal to see around 350 to 400 attendees at this conference, but we can't do it alone. Please make sure you reach out to the school district reps that you're working for to make sure they're aware of the conference and are attending. We will send out, WASBA will send out an attendee list on Friday, May 1st via your email. We do ask that you just use this uh, as a one-time list and not use attachments, only use links. We also recommend that you show or you let your attendees know or your district professionals know what raffle prizes you're bringing. That might also uh, get people to your booth. Awesome. And Sarah, we know that your schedules are packed during this conference. What is the best way for an exhibitor to catch your attention without feeling too pushy?
I think that's a really good point, Ryan. I mean, when I think about my time at this conference, you get there on a Wednesday and all of a sudden it's Friday, right? The time goes by so quickly, and there's so many great sessions and exhibit hall time. It's hard to pack it all in. And so I think the best way when I think about how to connect with an exhibitor, or how an exhibitor can connect with a business manager, I think Ben hit it on the head with his answer to is business managers talk to each other, facility directors talk to each other all the time. So we really know if there's a vendor out there that is going to give us what maybe we need at that time in our district. So it really is a lot about relevance. And me personally, I'm looking to make those authentic connections. So when Jeannie talks about building relationships, I think that's really important. And I I think about some past experiences that I've had with exhibitors. I think it's important to be able to kind of read the moment. So yes, it's nice to have conversations. That doesn't always mean that a business manager or a district is going to need something that you offer. But I can tell you that the minute that we do need it, we're going to remember that conversation. So really focusing on building those authentic relationships, because that's going to create that long-term connection. And like I said, as soon as we remember, or something comes up and we remember, oh my gosh, I talked to Bridget, and I know that her company might have something that they can help us with. I'm going to give her a call. So yes, follow up after the conference is nice, but just remember that we may not always need what you're offering in that moment, but we might someday. So
Awesome. Very good point, Sarah. Just a few quick updates on different things, some logistical stuff before the conference. The room block deadline at the Kalahari was April 11th. I believe rooms still are available at this time. Exhibitor services at your booth already included with your exhibitor fees includes a table, two chairs, a company sign, and pipe and drape. You can order other services at wasbo.com/services, and that will take you to Valley Expo's website directly where you can order those services. Exhibitor name badge registration that did open up on April 1st. I believe there's about 35 companies that haven't filled out the form yet, so you can do that at wasbo.com/badges. I've also included this year so you can view who your reps are, and you can also pay for these invoices anonymously without having to get signed in. And both of those links are right there at wasbo.com/reps and wasbo.com/paylinks. Invoices may be in your company profile due to a glitch on our end. So if you're not able to find any invoices that you need, feel free to email exhibit@wasbo.com if you need a copy of that invoice. Now, Bridget, what do you use the exhibit hall for?
Yeah, to kind of echo everyone's statements from before, it's a great way to make connections, right? So, for us, at least as service vendors, it's a lot about visibility and just getting that name recognition and continuing to show up conference after conference so that when, like Sarah mentioned, a business official has a need that you are top of mind. So, a lot of our strategy is around like creating company recognition and then also spending a lot of that time networking with our past and current and potential future clients and partners. So, other exhibitors at the show are amazing connections for companies as well. I know a lot of times during the off hours that our business officials aren't necessarily in the space is a great opportunity for other exhibitors to go around and make some new connections with some potential partners and leverage that service as well. So I think it's really valuable.
Awesome, awesome, great advice. Just a few more things on action items. I believe I covered a lot of this, but two full conference registrations are included per single booth. You can purchase additional registrations as well. And a reminder that it is an 8 by 10-foot booth, fully carpeted with pipe and drape. You will have a program listing on the WASBO Go app if you haven't already. If you haven't already downloaded that app, I highly recommend that you do. And everything for the spring conference should be uploaded hopefully later this week. Yeah, and just a reminder to order any services. We do want to also really highlight that we have an exhibit hall raffle. The raffle benefits WASBO's Student Scholarship Program, and we give about $30,000 away to high school seniors as well as some WASBO members as well. Vendors who also are a part of the raffle will be recognized in the WASBO Go app as another way to get visibility. Attendees and vendors may purchase raffle tickets, and again, those go to the scholarships. You can either bring cash, the best deal is $20 worth of tickets, but we also are accepting Venmo this year. And just a note that prizes don't need to be super costly. They can be for attendees' work or personal life, anything from gift cards to baskets to even sporting events tickets. Some vendors do. Uh, this also will, as I mentioned, this will help increase booth traffic, which will lead to more conversations. And the raffle is also an excellent way to engage attendees without driving a sale. I'm Bridget. Why should exhibitors participate in the raffle?
Well, first of all, who doesn't love a prize, right? Like I love participating in it as much as I love donating a prize to it. It's so fun and love a raffle. It's a great way to engage. Everyone sticks around to see who won and then sticks around again if there are still unclaimed prizes. So during that kind of off time is another great opportunity to make some connections. With people or to make plans for later in the evening. Definitely leverage those opportunities. But I think for us, during the conference and as people are kind of eyeing up your prize, it's a great way to make connections. So I've seen vendors do everything from put their bag towards the back of their booth so that people are, having a conversation before they drop their ticket, or showcasing their really cool prize is an amazing way to generate booth traffic, like you mentioned, Ryan. But I think any way you go about it, I think just the fact of having a raffle prize at your booth is going to draw more traffic and spark up a conversation if maybe you aren't a service that potential business official needs right now, but it's another great way to just kind of start conversation, make a connection.
Definitely. And those attendees really, the district professionals especially, get very, very into the raffle for sure. Um,
Mhm.
and Ben, what are some of the coolest surprises that you've seen in the raffle, and why should attendees participate in the raffle?
Yeah, like Ryan mentioned earlier, it doesn't have to be over the top, just something that engages people walking by. It's typically a wide range of what I've seen, and usually people just want to win something. So it could be very straightforward and simplistic. Some of the coolest ones I've seen have just maybe they've wrapped in the theme of the conference with the prize, and those have been kind of neat to draw that connection. And yeah, to the point, sometimes there's very practical prizes that people want to win. And yeah, they stick around and see if they can look out on it. So yeah, just something to get people's attention. And yeah, if you can tie it with a theme, even better.
Yeah, no, definitely. I remember one company gave away one of those little, it wasn't a Barbie car, but it was essentially one of those little toy cars that kids could drive around in. So there's definitely been lots of very cool prizes. I did just want to note sponsor recognition. Bronze and above, bronze or platinum through bronze sponsorships aren't available anymore for this year. But I did just want to highlight all these cool benefits. A lot of them are in the WASBO Go app, and you do get to select your booth early. You can find out more about WASBO sponsorships in general at wasbo.com/sponsor. One of the sponsorships that is still available is our golf hole sponsorships that cost $300 per golf hole. You get increased visibility during the spring fundraisers and conference. You can choose to either volunteer at your golf hole, or if you want to golf, you're welcome to do that as well and not have volunteers, but you do have to pay extra. You still have to pay for the registration fee if you wanted to golf. You will also, sponsoring volunteers also will cover the cost of the golf cart rental, and only 2 reps are allowed per hole. There's some other disclaimers here that I can definitely talk about if you're interested, but feel free to sign up for a golf hole on the registration page at wasbo.com/SF, and the whole sponsorship window does close at noon on Friday. And also, if you don't want to sponsor a golf hole, one easy way to connect with district professionals is to either sign up for the golf or hike. Those are the fundraisers that are on May 13th at the Dells. It's 119 to golf, and then it is a $63 to hike at Devil's Lake.
All right, thanks, Ryan. And as we talked about earlier, about the how different school districts are from typical businesses, on Thursday, at the 10 a.m. session time slot, we're offering a session on how school districts purchase. The session is designed specifically for exhibitors. But I know when we offered this at our facilities conference, we did have several district professionals participate as well. So be sure and take advantage of that session. It is the first breakout session at 10 o'clock on Thursday. It will be in Africa 70. Ben, what do you wish exhibitors understood about um, your district's purchasing timeline?
Yeah, like was mentioned before, with school districts, we're working within policy and different timelines in terms of what we need to take care of to get anything approved, especially for larger purchases. So pretty much every district will have a policy regarding certain thresholds for when they need quotes or go through an RFP process. And so obviously that'll take a little bit more time. And then most of those larger purchases will go through like a school board. And so just aligning with that, knowing that there's multiple steps that are involved with the process. In addition to that, maybe we're involved with something, or it's kind of within the business office umbrella, but it could be facilities related, and we want to go back to our district and just make sure I learned more about this. I want to check with my B&G director. Have you heard about this? And just have that discussion. So move a little bit slower, but that's just kind of like the process that we have within the public sector for sure.
Thanks for sharing that, Ben.
Awesome, awesome. And some during the exhibit, during the conference, there is a bunch of opportunities to connect. As I've mentioned, the WASBO Go app. Will include contact info and a company description. There will be dedicated exhibit hot time, including an extended exhibit time and lunch from noon to 1:30 on May 14th when the exhibit hall is open, and then there will be two extended breaks in the exhibit hall. Later that day, there also will be a networking reception, as Bridget mentioned, at the end. When we're also giving out the raffle prizes, there also will be a networking reception going on. And if you get in early, we also have another networking reception on Wednesday.
So we're working to get attendees to the exhibit hall. Ben mentioned earlier lunch. Lunch is in the exhibit hall. We have breaks scheduled. We've talked, Ryan and Bridget talked about the raffle. So the raffle is a great way to engage with attendees. You'll have a QR code at your booth. Attendees, why that's important is they want to scan that. We're giving away prizes. Um, so they're engaging in that way to earn prizes. And then you're going to be in the exhibit hall. So we're working to get participants there. And so we encourage you, make sure your products are visible at your booth. Make sure you're approachable. I know you're still trying to get work accomplished, but they don't know if you're on a phone call or a Zoom meeting. So make sure you're approachable, that they can ask you questions if they're in front of your booth. Additionally, have an interactive game. Probably the exhibit booths with a game have the most uh, visible participation standing outside their booth. So that's a great way to engage with attendees. And then as we've all talked about the raffle, talk about it. And we do the raffle to raise money for student scholarships. Ryan mentioned earlier we give away about $30,000 annually in student scholarships. So that's something to be really excited about. We all come together to make that happen. Bridget, how do you get people to your booth?
Jeannie, I think you hit it on the head when you said be approachable. The number one thing that we always try to have at our booth is presence. Not being on your phone or on your computer doing work. Like these dedicated exhibit hall times are short, right? It's you're at a conference, you've made this investment as a service partner. You've made an investment in attending the conference. Make it worth your while by putting that phone aside, putting that computer aside. Work will wait. I know it's a hard thing to do, but work will wait. So just putting pause on that and really focusing on being a presence that's approachable and available and just like looking up, looking around, making conversation with your booths to either side of you, or as you know, as business officials are walking through, making sure that you are available that way. And in addition to your raffle prize, having fun like swag. Like I know some of the stuff is kind of it's a lot, right? Like everyone, there's a lot of pens, a lot of that kind of stuff, but having something fun and different for a swag item, whether that's like a crazy little golf keychain or like just something fun or something themed with the Derby theme, is always a nice way to get people kind of cruising through booths. I've seen some really cute little like stress balls, some really awesome like mints or candy or whatever. So, that's always a lovely way to get people through too, because everyone loves a snack.
Yes, they
A
do.
huge sweet tooth, and I always beeline it for Somerville because they have full-size candy bars.
Full-size candy bars.
Most definitely.
I love it. I love it. Well, awesome. Well, just some other notes to exhibitors. You are welcome to attend attendee breakout sessions, and you should also plan to be at the networking receptions if you have a full conference registration. If you have a day pass, unfortunately, that is not included in your registration. But be sure to listen to any questions that your customers may have and make sure that you follow up with them. You can also volunteer to sell raffle tickets as long as you are registered for the conference. And also just to note, pretty obvious, but not advisable to attend your competitor's session if they are presenting. Instead, go to another session. And just to note that here are the times for the networking receptions on that Wednesday and Thursday. And yeah, just definitely there are ways to be engaged. Like also be sure to go to their lunch tables and things like that. And Bridget, we tell exhibitors at WASBO's conferences that building relationships over time, that WASBO conferences are about that and not necessarily closing an immediate sale. How do you measure success at the end of the conference?
I think your question hits it on the head, Ryan. I think by at the end of the conference, the big thing that we always take away from is connections, not leads, not a sale. Because it's like we've talked about earlier, what Ben mentioned earlier is like the sales cycle typically in public schools is very long. Rarely are you going to walk into this conference and have a sale tomorrow. But it's those connections that you're making and being a presence and being available and offering your services to districts that are already stretched thin, right? So becoming that trusted advisor, becoming that resource for them will maintain that relationship for the long haul, and hopefully bringing them back next time to say hi at your booth at the next conference. And eventually down the road, if there's a sale or opportunity for partnership, then so be it. But otherwise, I think our big takeaway is just making connections with our current clients, our past clients, our current partners, and any future opportunities for connection there.
I love it. That's great advice. So we've mentioned a few other action items, as we've mentioned the white raffle bag, there also will be a sign with your company name and your QR code. That is for our game zone for attendees. They can basically score points by scanning the QR codes, but it's another way to help get them to your booth. After the conference, remember to follow up with new contacts using that attendee list and complete the exhibitor evaluation so we can keep improving this conference. And be sure to be active members of WASBO. And Sarah, what are some strategies that you've seen exhibitors to employ to engage district professionals that have stood out to you?
Yeah, so I think we've talked about this across a couple different questions, but the time and effort that people put into their booths, and especially if they like have some fun with it and engage in the theme, I think that draws people in because people want to go and they want to talk about the booth and hear more about what they do if they have cool raffle prizes or raffle prizes at all. So I think within the exhibit hall, just trying to stand out and set yourself apart a little bit. And I think it is really important when we see people show up. Yes, I completely understand and respect the fact that you still have work to do, like Bridget mentioned. I mean, I've been with vendors where I golf with them during the day, but then they're leaving because they have to go do a board meeting. Totally get that. Things are crazy, busy in everyone's schedules. But just focusing really on being present and finding different ways to engage with business managers, with facility directors, and not necessarily just to make a sale, but again to build that relationship and understand what they're going through and understand their role.
Definitely. And there is also an exhibitor booth contest that attendees vote on. So you want to try to match the Kentucky Derby theme if you can. The top prize is a free booth at next year's conference. So just definitely keep that in mind as you're thinking about maybe being on theme.
We are also giving back to Breathe. During the conference, Breathe is the Baraboo River Equine Assisted Therapies organization, and they not their therapies not only provide emotional support, but their therapies also improve balance, coordination, and muscle strength. So they were chosen to as a give back that also matches our theme. And we hope you can help us by donating just a small donation to support their children. And they also support adults and veterans.
Awesome.
All right, ethics, our favorite topic. We feel that we need to talk about ethics. We don't want any of our any of our school districts to be on the front page of their newspapers, and I know you don't want them to be there. State statutes don't give us a specific dollar amount, um, but we like to refer to it as the check engine light of ethics. If the state costs $25, you're probably okay, but if it's 51, the light starts blinking. As I said, you don't want to put them in the headline of the newspaper, so just stick to maybe buy your own burger. Sarah, what are Wisconsin ethics laws are very strict regarding gifts and meals. How can an exhibitor build a meaningful relationship while adhering to the ethics laws?
I think this is a great question. And first, I just want to say that from a WASBO perspective, we sincerely appreciate that everything that our exhibitors and our vendors do for us. And thinking about the spring conference in particular, there's a lot that we wouldn't be able to do without the support of the vendors and the exhibitors that do show up. And so I think on the flip side of that, from a business manager lens, I always appreciate vendors who understand where we're coming from and understand our perspective and how we have to operate. And so not feeling pressure to go to a networking event or go to a dinner if a business manager or facilities person does engage in a dinner. If they choose to get the burger instead of a steak, that's okay. Like that's their choice. If they offer to and insist on paying for their meal, that's okay. Let them do that. Don't put them in an uncomfortable situation. And I think back a lot too when I'm doing like within a district, if I'm working through budget development, I'm always telling my budget managers and administrators that if Joe Smith came into our district and did an open records request and looked at every line item within our budget, would we feel good about what's within our budget? How would we be viewed by the community if they saw X, Y, and Z line item? So that's what we're thinking of as business managers. So we like when we feel that vendors understand and respect that. And at the end of the day, it's not the meal that's going to get the relationship. It really is being that trusted resource, and feeling like the business manager or facility director can pick up the phone and call you and ask your advice, and trust that what they're getting is going to truly help them and benefit the students within their district. And like Ryan mentioned, we on the spring planning committee are very intentional about the networking events that we provide and spend a lot of time researching and figuring out how we can offer the best events possible for our attendees. And we're really excited about our theme this year and the networking event that we get to put on this year. I would just really encourage you to show up to those. It's a really good time to be able to talk to business managers and other attendees.
Awesome, awesome. Just a reminder to put any questions you have. You can put them in the chat if you'd like, or you can email exhibit@wasbo.com. Those emails will go to me, so feel free to reach out.
And thanks, everybody. Thanks to our panelists for participating. Thanks for our participants, not just for being here today, but for coming along with us at the conference. We talked about building relationships, and that building relationships includes the conversation. We can't wait to see how those conversations come together. We hope you will share those with us, and we can't wait to see you at the conference in the Dells.
Yes, we can't. Thanks again, Sarah, Bridget, and Ben, and we will see you all in about a month. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks,
Thanks,
everyone.
everybody.